Ladies and gentlemen, in a recent NBC poll, 57% of voters said they want the investigation against Trump to continue. Well, I sure know these are not his supporters because they're going after the FBI, making all kinds of threats, doxing them, and everything. And I just want y'all to take notice how nothing is happening to those folks that are doing that. All right, let's move on. A clear majority of American voters believe that the various investigations into allegations of wrongdoing by the former president, Donald Trump, should continue, according to a national NBC News poll conducted after the FBI searched Trump's Florida home and recovered documents marked top secret earlier this month. The poll also shows a dissatisfied public, with three-quarters of voters saying the country is headed in the wrong direction. A record 58% said that America's best years are behind it. Yeah, well, they're very, very smart because they are. 61% who said they're willing to carry a protest sign for a day because they're so upset. And it paints a mixed picture of the 2022 midterms, which we know are coming up real soon, with President Joe Biden's job rating marred by a low 40. He's like in the 40%, which is pretty bad. Republicans narrowly leading the congressional preference, but the Democrats nearly tying Republicans on voter enthusiasm. And the threats to democracy overtaking the cost of living as the top issue facing the country for voters. Yes, and people are really concerned about the inflation. Okay, sorry about the interruption. So, ladies and gentlemen, America is really not in good shape in terms of housing. The housing market is in a really deep recession. We know the gas prices are still outrageous, and inflation and food cost is high. So, going into the midterms, it is just not looking good. As terms in terms of how well the economy is going. So the NBC News poll conducted was between August 12th through the 16th, during and after the period of Donald Trump's raid by the FBI, where they searched the president's home, when Trump's attorney and ally Rudy Giuliani revealed that he is a target in a probe and allege election interference in Georgia, as the former Trump business executive pled guilty to tax fraud. So, according to the survey, 57% of registered voters said that the investigation into the alleged wrongdoing by Donald Trump should continue, while 40% said it should not. Those are his supporters. So, a majority of voters approve of the Trump investigations. By party, 92% of Democratic voters, 61% of independents, but only 21% of Republican voters think the investigations into Trump should continue. While other voters who prefer the investigation to continue rather than stop, led by 17 points, the margin holding Trump responsible for the January 6th attack on the US Capitol is much smaller. Combined, 50% of voters say Trump is solely or mainly responsible for January 6th, which is up 5 points since May. And that May was the last time NBC News did a poll. So, before the House committee investigating the attack began holding multiple televised hearings, compared with a combined 49% saying Trump is only somewhat responsible or not responsible at all for January 6th, which is down 6 points from May. So, Joe Biden's ratings remain low. They're low, and, they're talking about the jobs that were created in July. 528,000 jobs were created last month. But the survey doesn't show a significant improvement in the president's standing, with 42% of registered voters approving of Biden's job performance, 55% disapproving. In May, Biden's job approval stood at 42% among registered voters and 39% among all adults. All right. So, on issues, 40% approve of Biden's handling of the economy, up 7 points among adults in May. 39% gives him thumbs up on foreign policy, which is down 3 points among adults. Looking ahead to November's midterms elections, 47% of registered voters prefer Republicans winning of Congress, while 45% want Democrats in charge, which has been disastrous, as you can see all this time. All right. So, according to the survey, 68% of Republicans expressed a high level of interest in the upcoming election, which is registering either a 9 or 10 on a 10-point scale versus 66% of Democrats. That 2 point GOP advantage is down from 17 points in March and 8 points in May. A pollster who conducted a survey attributed the increase in Democratic enthusiasm in June is due to the Supreme Court decision of overturning Roe versus Wade. The Supreme Court ruling has shaken up the electorate, and, this is according to the pollster. Indeed, the polls found that 58% of voters disapproved of the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade and ended the constitutional right to an abortion, compared with 38% who approved. And the polls found that threats to democracy has taken the cost of living as the most important issue facing the country, and the climate and healthcare legislation Biden signed into law last week is more popular than unpopular. 42% calling it a good idea, while 31% saying it's a bad idea. So, it'll be interesting to see how the midterms go, but I don't care about the Democrats. I really don't care about the Republicans either, because the way I see it, neither one of them have done doo doo for us at all. They haven't done they haven't done a thing. So I don't care about either side. Both of them are garbage to me. So, hovering over the entire poll is a deep dissatisfaction from the American public. Three-quarters of the voters, 74%, said the country is headed in the wrong direction. Representing fifth straight NBC News survey showing this number in the 70s. Additionally, 58% believe America's best days are behind it, which is the highest percentage on this question dating back to 1990. Another 68% of the voters think the US is currently in an economic recession. Well, you are. The GDP was down 2 quarters in a row, right? But see, when they don't like what they see, then all of a sudden the rules change. You know how it is, y'all. But technically, according to the definition of a recession, America has gone through that already. You would have to be in a recession. So, all right, let me move on. So 58% believe, the country's in the wrong direction. 68% of the voters believe America is in a current economic recession. And 6 in 10, 61% say they're upset by something that they're willing to carry a protest sign for an entire day. All right. So they were asking what would those signs say that they would go out and protest with. And if you hear, the typical stuff you would hear is that you can tell they didn't poll us in the Black community. Here's the women's rights. Another person said they would hold up equal rights, prosecute Trump, and abortion rights. So those are the signs that these pollsters said they would go out and sign. It's obvious they didn't poll a lot of us because we would have had that reparation sign front and center, right? And the top responses among Republican voters are impeach Biden, protect our freedom, protect Second Amendment, and stop Democrats. Again, they sure didn't poll any of us on either side, did they? So, y'all, please tell me what you think about this recent survey done by NBC News. But I'm not surprised by the negative feedback about the economy and how the public feel. But obviously, they didn't poll a lot of Trump supporters because they definitely don't agree with the raid on Mar-a-Lago and this investigation that's ongoing about President Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.